broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I would just like everyone to know this is Brooks Forester's song choice, and it could not be more spot on. Brooks, I'm so proud of you. You thought of that in 3 seconds. The producer said, I need a song, and Brooks goes, Cry Me a River, Justin Timberlake.
No, he was like, let me finish Snapchatting. Oh, Cry Me a River,
that's probably a little more accurate. Welcome to your Bachelor After Show. I'm Danny Hoyt, and we have a lot of stuff to get through, but we are down a host or two, which means you're going to get more thoughts from these two lovely people right here.
Wow.
First up to my right, the beautiful, the stunning Cathy Cupcake Kelley.
Oh, I thought you were going to go with Brooks.
I wouldn't do
he
that
was
to
ready
you.
for it. He was ready for it. He was like, the beautiful, the stunning.
I'm right here, Danny. Don't talk to me like that. Cathy Cupcake Kelley, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you guys?
If you guys don't follow Cathy on Snapchat, by the way, she's had the longest day ever. This is hour 19. Are you going on now?
I wanted to
No, it's
explain.
genius.
I mean, I can't even form sentences at this point. But I wanted to show people what a day in the life is of hosting.
Yeah.
Because when I was in high school and I wanted to be a host, I saw Kelly Ripa and I was like, oh, she does this for 2 hours a day. I'm sure this is a super easy job. And then it's not.
What time did you wake up today?
5 a.m.
Oh my dear God.
Well, 5:10.
Did you do a Snapchat today? It was
It's
hour
my
14,
day.
hour 15.
No. I did the timestamps on all of them.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, which is perfect. Brooks, what time did you get up today?
8:30.
The beautiful, the lovely Brooks Forester.
The bearded and leather jacket.
Yeah, what do you
And
guys think?
entrepreneur.
Should I keep
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, so you're embodying your announcement tonight. I'm going to let you make it,
I
but I
like
just want to tease this. I tweeted this out. I said we have Brooks Forester on the show tonight.
You look like the Count.
And you
I
brought
I look like the guy off of the neighborhood watch sign.
one pair of yoga pants. 17 pairs of yoga pants.
I want to do this character because every time I
47
wear a leather
elephants
jacket,
in the room.
Carry the 6. Oh my
I was
gosh.
saying every time I put on a leather jacket, I feel like kind of an asshole. So I feel like
Why?
I also need to have this persona that goes with it, lock your doors. I'm from hell.
Who are you, Nicolas Cage?
I don't know.
Hey,
It slips in.
At least yours has a collar, unlike Ben's tonight.
Yeah, Ben was,
what did you think
what did you
it
say
looked
it
like?
was?
He looked like Tom Cruise. That sounds like a compliment.
Live from Burbank, it's Saturday Night Live!
Okay, so Brooks came along with a giant announcement tonight.
I always wanted to do that.
But I don't want to steal
sorry.
your thunder because it's a big deal. Is
Yeah.
this why you wore a jacket that reflects?
I kind of did, yeah, because my voice went all...
Yeah, I kind
You
of
know,
I got
there are a
excited.
lot of people that want you to take it off, so.
Oh, can we get some strip music going?
Steven? Oh, God, he's right on it. Here we go.
This is really slow. My strip name would be Candy.
That's all you
Okay,
got?
so this is what's
Candy
going on.
Forester.
Cut the music.
Super sexy, right
So
here.
today, I've been working on this for a while. I went on this trip with some friends and rode my motorcycle from LA to Cabo San Lucas and back. And I was really inexperienced at riding motorcycles. And this is 3 years ago. I made a little documentary of it. Bachelor alum, and friend Eric, who had passed away, was also on it. That's where I met him, was on that trip. And since then, I was like, you know what? I want to make a brand, something that brings riders together. And that was this little brand, Salt and Pine. And today I launched it. And I had my very first sale come in right before this started.
Congratulations!
That's so cool.
That's so
From
awesome.
Phoebe
Davenport.
Phoebe Davenport from
Shout
Utah.
out to Phoebe.
Shout out to Phoebe. Yeah, so you guys can check out Brooks Forester's Salt and Pine. Is it saltandpine.com?
Yeah.
I like that. A little pocket for
Yes,
your
yes.
trinkets.
I know, you should have
there.
let me know. I would have worn mine. I have one and I love it. I wear it all the
one of
time.
them.
It's a great shirt.
Yeah,
What is that?
thanks.
Do you have a name for that little guy on the motorcycle on the
No,
back?
I don't. Let's name him. What does the chat roll think?
Wait,
What
yeah,
what
we
name
should
him?
do a hashtag.
Chat
Hashtag
roll.
S&P or something.
Yeah.
And then people can name them.
I think
Or
I
Salt
think
and Pine.
S&P is used Salt Pine Salt Pine Raiders. No one sees it.
People
Okay,
are
do
saying if your nickname's gonna be Candy, it should be Lick You Lollipop Remix for your song.
Oh, that's amazing.
God, that's so
Who
good. Thanks,
said that?
Fantasy Stats Guru, whoever you
Fantasy
are.
Stats.
By the way, since we're on it, thank you guys for joining us on the chat roll. There's a lot of you guys on there. We are watching. Kathy's got it up. I've got it up. Brooks.
What does that mean?
Has
Fantasy
nothing
Stats
up, but-
Guru. You're a guru of fantasy stats? What does that mean?
Probably manages a baseball team. Fantasy.
Oh, fantasy footballs and baseballs.
Fantasy
was-
balls.
There was a lot of balls in tonight's episode.
Yeah.
That's a great
And
segue.
one giant cup. And as Jubilee duly noted, it belongs to Mr. Ben Higgy.
Ben Higgy.
Ben Higgy. Isn't that, I think that's his Twitter
like the
name.
worst thing to say in connection with having a big cup. Ben Higgy.
Ben Higgy. Okay, so here we go. If you guys aren't on, please jump on the chat roll. We love live communicating with you guys. And if you can't jump on the chat roll, you can always tweet us. You can Snapchat us. Instagram us. I got an Instagram DM from somebody in Cambodia this week, so feel free to communicate with us however you can. That's a true story, actually.
No, I know. I heard from the person in Cambodia too.
Did you?
I think so. I heard from someone in
Wonder if it's the
Cambodia.
same
Maybe it's
person.
a different person in Cambodia.
That's amazing. Well, that's a... Kathy is feeling the effects of a long day. All right, so let's do
I was trying
this.
to get on the chat roll because you told everyone that I was on it and I was not yet.
Hey, Owen.
By the way, Nick tweeted in that he's bummed he couldn't be here tonight. He has an abundance of thoughts, but we're trying to get him back next week, so we'll see. Plus, we have some other guests coming up. I know that we have there's a giant watch party here in Los Angeles. These girls wear like gowns for the finale, the whole 9 yards.
Some
And
past contestants that we
some
want to
past
get
contestants,
in.
plus
some
some-
super fans.
Yeah, we got a super fan friend that was in Sharknado 3 may come on. Hint,
If you guys
hint.
thought that Kelly Cuoco was a super fan, we've got some super fans.
Super duper. So be on the lookout for that. We're pretty excited about that. Let's get in tonight. This was I think the real drama for the season is finally starting to take shape.
Yeah.
They set the hook tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's like, this is the episode where I feel like in any good movie, there's that hook in the beginning.
You felt it tonight?
Yeah.
What was the moment that you feel like was like, oh god, okay, here we go.
Well, I just feel like the entire episode, it's like, first two, it's kind of fun, and then like episode 3 is like, we're going for a ride.
I mean, it was in this episode especially, it was he's developing feelings for the girls while he's also going through something personally in his life. So
Yeah.
he has to balance all of that. And then as far as the girls go, we'll talk about it later in the episode, but it seemed like a lot of them were kind of ganging up on a few specific girls.
Yeah, it did kind of seem like that. I guess I was a little surprised for Amber just like putting herself out there. Do you think she felt more confident because she has a rose?
No,
I think
I
she
think
felt
that's-
misunderstood a little bit.
Amber?
The
Yeah, and
situation
that's-
was definitely miscommunicated, but Amber, that's exactly who she was on Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, that's true.
We didn't get to see as much of her on Chris Soules' season, but I think that we did see that kind of personality from her in Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, and so let's start at the top of the show. By the way, I want to talk about it. Olivia spent $40,000 on clothes for the show.
I really hope that was over exaggerated
Yeah.
because like that's more
what,
than
like
I make
what?
in a
Brooks,
year.
how much did you spend on your clothes for the show?
Sale rack. Got a couple words for you.
Okay, you didn't give me a total.
How much for this last year?
No. On clothes when you were on the show, how much did you spend on clothes for the show?
Oh, like, I don't know, like a couple $100.
So
Like,
did you go to
shirts
one
that
store?
don't have logos. Yeah, I think every guy does. They're like, because they give you a list of what you can and can't bring, and it's basically like go to Urban Outfitters and buy a couple tees that are like different colors, and they tell you bring different colors. So every episode, all the guys are wearing this.
Did you have a
same
theory
damn
on your
thing.
color choices? Like, I'm going to pick red because it's more attractive. and-
Well, I just was like, red's not my color, so I don't wear red.
Oh, good God. Yeah, I should. Yeah, red's definitely not your color.
Yeah.
I've seen you in red.
Awful.
It's terrible.
I have. It brings out the acne in my
I mean,
face.
the only thing you can really wear is like off-white and army green.
Those
To
are my,
look
Yeah, those are your
acceptable,
best.
like
It's once in a
presentable.
while black, but you usually have to take it off because
yeah. Well, I do
we're talking about
too
your
much.
outfit tonight in case you haven't picked up on that yet. Oh.
It looks good.
Okay,
is
got
what
it.
he's
Cool,
saying.
thanks.
So you spent a couple $100. Do you think this is true? She spent $40K on clothes for the show.
I don't know, that's excessive.
How?
Like, what are we talking? Are we talking about like
How?
Louboutins? Is that how you say it? Cristiano Louboutin.
I don't know. I
Louboutin?
buy cheap shoes because I just ruin them all the time. I don't know.
Would you say you spend even $5,000 a year on clothing?
Maybe. I would have to add it up, but $40,000 for
just to go on the show,
a potential 8-week experience. That's ridiculous.
See, it sounds very disingenuous of your.
I mean, if she has that money, more props to her to spend it. But I know as a aspiring journalist, you don't make that kind of money when you're starting out, especially when
Absolutely
you're 23 years old. So either she's coming from money and she's spending her parents or wherever she's getting it from, or she's going into some serious credit card debt.
Yeah, my goodness. I mean, it can't give you that much of an advantage on the show. It's not what it's about. I mean, maybe one dress, one rose ceremony. Dear God.
I will say, my first job going into local news, coming out of college when I was 23 years old, so Olivia's age, was $26,000.
Wow.
At a local station. So
you would have went 14 G's in debt.
Yes.
Just to be on the show.
You guys both are going to be on the Susie Orman show. Ladies,
here's how you manage money. What do we learn? All right, so let's talk about the song.
I love how our voices for Susie Orman are almost
Ladies.
identities. Here's what we're going to do with our credit cards.
In Olivia's
we're
mind,
gonna put them away. We're gonna cut them up and never look at them again.
Okay, what, Kathy?
What was that, Kathy?
I was going to say that I feel like Olivia is, in her mind, she's like, well, I'm going to get proposed to by Ben, and then I can take these outfits and I can sell them for more money on the internet.
Oh my gosh.
This is what I was
special.
wearing.
Oh my God. We're gonna auction them off. Okay, so, by the way, and Amanda and Lauren B were talking and said they felt like they weren't able to connect with her a little bit because of that.
You know
like the
what?
one person in the house. That's
I
interesting.
figured it out.
What?
She probably didn't spend that much money on clothes, but she probably did have to spend a lot of money on custom shoes to fit her fat.
You were so close to delivering that perfect.
I can't take it seriously
You
because
thought it was so funny.
It's the dumbest insult I've ever heard. Who cares about toes? It was so stupid. Why are you harping on her toes?
Didn't they say that? Were they talking about her pinky toe specifically?
They said fat toes.
Oh, just
plural.
in general.
Let's just go through this, by the way.
So
on
mean.
the chat room is blowing up right now about Olivia, women picking on Jubilee. Olivia had to be joking. Olivia is a joke from Megs to you. Marissa says Olivia's full of TBH. I don't know what that means. Joseph Boza hates Olivia. Dear God. Danielle hasn't even spent $40,000 in her lifetime yet. This is amazing. I really hope we get some clarity on this. This is kind of crazy.
Clarity.
There, I see what you did there. Clarity. I hope we get her in this season. Can you make that happen, Brooks?
Quit yelling at me.
Is that loud?
Who?
Claire.
Oh, Claire.
Claire Crawley.
If we can get her on?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get her on.
Oh, here.
In here.
I was like, I think that the applications for Ben already closed.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know. We don't know yet. I mean, Caitlin's, that was kind of mid-season. Nick, if you're watching.
If you're watching, Nicholas. Okay, so let's jump right into the one-on-one date. Lauren B. This card says the sky's the limit. She's a flight attendant. Do you think he did that on purpose? Took her up on a plane? She's done that a million times.
She has, but it was a different experience. And
Sure.
she was even a little bit nervous for it, which I thought was really cute.
Why do you think that's cute?
Being genuinely nervous for something?
Yeah. You think it's a tell of where she's at with Ben's feelings for Ben.
I mean,
what you're saying?
it could have been partially her feelings for Ben, and it could have been going up in a propeller plane that only has one propeller and one
one seat,
Yeah.
You have to share a strap.
Yeah, let's
because
talk
you
about
only
this. You
got
guys
one
sit
side.
next to each other for a second. I'm just going to come over to your camera shot. Okay, so I think the seat was made for one person because there's a strap here and a strap here. Mm-hmm. You guys seeing this over here? There's a strap here and a strap here. Usually there would be strap, 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 strap. Am I right? Mm-hmm. But there was one strap and one strap. So is it made for a giant wide person?
I think it's made for a regular person and they just squeeze
One
them
person,
in.
yeah.
It was very interesting.
Which is the same thing that American Airlines does to me every time. They're like, this is made for 3 people, but we're going to fit 4.
Wow. Well, I mean, it looked like fun. The views had to be incredible. They're riding along the coastline.
How cute was it when they turned to each other and he's like, oh, well, the view to...
No, I did not think this was cute.
On a cute scale of
I
what,
wrote
1
down
to
the
10?
quote. Let me say, he goes, I have a good view on my left, a good view on my right. And then he goes in to kiss her, and their microphones touch,
That
and then their
was
noses
cute.
touch.
Yeah.
They couldn't find the mouth.
But they kept on trying because they really like each other and they just wanted to keep kissing.
I don't-
Those dates are always so awkward.
Yeah.
The helicopter dates, any time when you have to have a microphone in front of your face and you can't kiss the person because usually they just don't do it. They don't try. And clearly, I'm not going to try to kiss you. That's weird.
I'm kidding.
But
Because you have a cold.
No.
Oh.
No.
Just in general.
But it's always an awkward situation, and I think that they were the cutest out of all the seasons that I've seen in the past.
Okay, it is.
Can you guys reenact the scene?
No,
That
she was
that
right. It was awkward. It was awkward.
Yeah, I think that she made a case for me stronger than I've seen yet for anybody to be in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
We already thought she'd get there.
Also framed by Ben, the way he talks about her as well. I mean, he was like, I was very interested in her from the beginning. I don't remember exactly what else he said, but I was like, Ben is definitely into this girl.
If you have an awkward kiss and you guys laugh about it afterwards, that's the best thing. Like, if
Not
you have
only
an
an
awkward
awkward
kiss
kiss-
and you're like, oh, wow, that was really awkward. Like, I don't know what to do. Like,
But not only an awkward kiss, an awkward fart in the hot tub. A mystery
Well, you know
fart.
that you're like a long-term couple when you start farting in front of each other. Like, that's just,
so
they're
true.
married already. Come on.
Well, now he can actually do it in front of her and blame it on something else, and it's an inside joke forever.
They'll be in a rose ceremony and he just farts, lets one rip, and he's like, oh, that was the hot tub.
It was the hot tub.
It was the hot
It came from
tub.
someone. It's one of those girls back there.
But I thought that it was extra cute because she didn't get a date last week. He made her feel special and like made her feel like he wanted her there still. And seriously, like, she's just so cool. Like, a girl after my own heart with like white chucks on your first date.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. Major brownie points for that. I want to talk about the fly over the house. They go over the house. No, that's not necessarily Ben's idea.
She straight one-upped Olivia.
Did she
like,
not?
Olivia always goes on the balconies
You're
to
like,
show
"Hi,
off
guys."
Ben, or when she was in the room at the smell test or the chemistry test, and she tried to kiss Ben in front of all the other girls when they were watching.
Yeah.
Like, Lauren B didn't even try, and she still made all the other girls jealous.
You saw the blurb on it though, right? The screen was all blurred.
Why?
Because Lauren B was flipping her off.
Stop
She
it.
drove by on the plane. Yeah, you guys didn't see that?
Stop. You're joking.
I
missed-
did not.
Okay.
But I
was like, well, how did I miss
She's
this?
like,
She's just
what
like-
up, bitches?
Leaving the plane, I can see Olivia from here. Just like flips her the bird.
Oh my god.
Cheeks are flopping back.
Lace
in
is
the
down there
wind.
with binoculars like, oh my god, I hate her. Amazing.
I literally can't. I literally can't
literally
with
can't
her.
even. The hot tub in the middle of nowhere. I actually love that. I think that's really cool.
Once
How did
they got
get
over
it out there?
the
Like-
fact that Ben even said that it was awkward that's just what made it like okay.
Yeah, because you acknowledge it. Then
Otherwise,
it's
it would have been super creepy. If you think about it, a lot of the other bachelors, we always harp on how many girls they kiss so early on.
Sure.
And I think Ben might be leading the pack, like next to Juan Pablo, as far as like him going in for the kiss. He didn't on the first night, but like now, I think he's right on par with him, and he doesn't seem creepy about it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say why.
good
So why
point.
is this? It hasn't seemed creepy. I have a theory.
Okay, I do.
My
too.
theory is
Go.
because they're pecs. They're not full on makeout sessions. There's not hands on your face. It's because they're pecs, and then he backs up and smiles.
Let
and
me
says,
handle this.
because
You
the girls
disagree,
all want
Kathy?
it. The girls all go in for the kiss first. There are a couple times when he's gone in for the kiss first, but for the most part, we see in the previews, it's all like, I'm just gonna go for it, and then
Yeah.
the girl just kisses him.
So interesting. I don't know. What's your break it
I
down,
have a
Brooks.
theory.
Yeah.
They're being sponsored by Tic Tac in this episode.
Oh,
So.
this guy can't say anything serious tonight. Hey, fantasy, I'm just kidding.
What else? What else is there to say?
Fantasy Stats Guru just chimed in and said Lace already got invited to Bachelor in Paradise.
How does
And
she
people
know?
are saying, Marisha says, really? Joseph Bosa says, get out. Here we go. On Bachelor Live, which we, by the way, if you're just tuning in, we don't get to watch that because of our time schedule. We can't watch Bachelor Live before this.
So it was on Bachelor Live that Lace got asked. I
Yeah.
liked. I know we're skipping ahead a little bit, but I liked the way that Lace. Like, it was the first
Yeah,
time,
we'll
and
get there.
sadly, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's interesting little tidbit. Thanks, Fantasy Stats Guru.
This Fantasy Stats guy, he's on it. Everything.
By the
He's
way,
everywhere.
they've done this thing, and they did this a lot tonight. This was a running theme. This is why we played Justin Timberlake, Cry Me a River, because in the middle of every single date, they cut to the house, and there's girls talking, and someone at the house is already crying. This first one-on-one date with Lauren B, they cut back, Kayla's crying.
Yeah.
Already. Mm-hmm. How do we feel about that? Is it too early? Is it a little much?
I don't necessarily think that she was crying because of Ben at this point. I think that she was crying because of the situation that you're in. It's a very
She said that. She goes,
awkward
I'm starting
place
to
to be.
realize
Yeah.
things.
Well, I think that starting to realize things. Did you guys see the
You can't even keep a straight face
I can't
now.
even say it. Okay, what's the Jenner? Is it Kylie? Is it Kylie Jenner?
That's one of them.
That's the youngest one right now. That's really popular.
Kylie.
Okay,
Sure.
Kylie.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner had this interview, and she was like, 2006. It's all about realizing things. Did you guys see this?
You showed it to me.
Oh my god, she was like, just 2006. It's
year.
about realizing, and all my friends were just realizing things.
We're actualizing.
2006.
Yeah,
Looking good. Okay, so what did you say? Oh,
So
she's just there realizing things.
That's what she said.
They're
She
friends.
goes,
They
I
should
think
hang out.
I'm finally realizing things and act that he could actually end up with somebody else.
Okay, but
She went up to Kylie
It's not
Jenner.
like a Notebook
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Not like the Notebook 2.
But I did want to add to that. I also think that for her, I think that's showing a little bit of her immaturity, emotional immaturity, possibly. And I'm going out on a limb here, but I feel like tears at that level this early is like she's dealing with other things too.
Sure.
And she had the breakup before she came, and maybe that's a part of it. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but I do play one on the radio.
It's
But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
not natural to date someone who's also dating 20 other people.
Yeah, we say this every season. It's not. And this stuff happens. I just feel like maybe episode 3, it's a little...
I mean, I get weird when I know that there's one other girl in the picture. Like,
Yeah.
I start having, like, guards up. So I can not imagine what she's going through, especially having that much time with him already.
Yeah.
And then now it's been a few days. She hasn't really gotten to interact with him at all. And all she's hearing about is, because they only do this on the girls' seasons, is people talking about kissing him and the times that they've spent with him, and
Yeah.
that's tough.
By the way, people are saying Nick Kroll on Bachelor Live is hilarious. I love Nick Kroll, so I have to make sure. We have to make sure that we catch that before we get back. Okay, so then we get to dinner, and dinner for me, for those two, seemed easy. It seemed really comfortable. Like they were connecting well. And Ben had a quote after dinner. He goes, "All I can think of right now is this girl is changing me." That's a huge thing to say.
Well, if you think about it, we haven't seen him open up to anyone else.
Not completely,
This
no.
is the first person that he's opened up to since Caitlin's season.
Yeah.
So in the other dates, whether it's a one-on-one or a group date, we've only seen him asking questions about the girls, not vice versa, in him talking about his family and the situation that he went through with his dad and his mom being really vulnerable in that, and her getting so comfortable that she's like, I want to meet your family.
Yeah, I thought it was actually kind of cute how she said, she's like, that came out weird. I didn't mean it like that. I actually kind of loved that.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of those kind of cool moments that could be fun inside jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever something's weird like that, I like latching onto it and holding onto it. I think it makes it more fun.
I didn't even, until she caught herself, I just thought it was so natural. Like, they seem so natural together.
Yeah, they do. Ooh, Neha, I don't know how you say it last. Agarwal is saying that she thinks he's smitten. That's a heavy word to use, but I don't disagree with you, Neha. Like, I see that for sure. Any other thoughts on Lauren B and Ben, the one-on-one date?
I think that wraps it up.
I like
wrap
them.
it up, Ben.
I ship
Wrap it up,
them.
Ben. Ship them. They definitely got. She definitely got the rose. Okay, we move on to the group date. The card says love is the goal. We have Amanda, Haley, Jennifer, Shoshana, Leah, Amber, Lauren H, Olivia, Jamie, Rachel, Lace, Emily. Left off that Becca, Jubilee, and JoJo. So group date. They go to the Coliseum. Jamie said she knew right away it was soccer.
Not the one in Italy, the one in...
Not the one in Italy. Yeah, no travels
LA.
yet. We're still in LA. I thought Ben said something cool off the top. He goes, off the top, I'm looking to see how the girls interact with each other today. That's a heady comment. I think guys always notice what happens in that, but I feel like I've never really heard somebody say, this is what I'm watching today.
Girls that are competitive are usually good at hiding it. So this is a situation where they might be competitive for Ben's heart.
Yeah.
But if they're competitive on the field, he will really see that in real life. As
Like you
opposed
saw,
to...
which one of the twins was the goalie?
Emily.
Yeah.
Emily.
Right?
But that
Yeah.
wasn't a bad kind of competitive. That's just like her being a badass.
Yeah, it made her stand out without her trying to get noticed. She wasn't trying to be crazy. She was just like, all right, I'm going to be serious.
It was the Stars
awesome.
team versus Where's Waldo. Like, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, if you had to pick, are you picking Stars or Stripes? They were both cool. I'd probably pick the
I was
Stars.
Stars.
For sure,
Duh.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Who
get to
wants
keep things
stripes?
like that? You think they
Yeah.
can keep the jerseys?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I would want vertical stripes if I'm gonna get stripes. Like horizontals
look
just make
skinny.
it look fat.
I thought it was great that they had Alex Morgan and Kelly O'Hara too. That's a huge
That's like
get.
the show has stepped up in so many aspects.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
That's incredible because not only women's soccer is.
They won the freaking World Cup.
Yeah, they're way better than men's soccer team
right now.
Comparatively, like they are like in their league, they dominate.
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, and around the world, we don't compete men as the women do in their field. In soccer.
When
so
I was young,
to have them on there, I'm just like that's as big as it gets.
When you were younger,
when I was younger, my idols were Mia Hamm and Brandi Chastain.
Yeah.
So that was like I saw the Women's World Cup back years ago, like over a decade ago when it was in LA, and so like that just brought back memories too.
Interesting enough, and I said this earlier, so while they're playing soccer, of course, cut back to the house, Jubilee is now crying, and she's talking about she thinks she's not the type that Ben is attracted. She goes, I can, him and Lauren B. I'm not his type. She keeps saying this word type. How can she say that, Kathy?
If she already sees a connection between Lauren and Ben and Kayla and Ben, they seem like sweethearts. And even when they had the opportunity to trash other girls, those two were girls that didn't step up to that, which we saw later in the episode. And I think that Jubilee sees the connection that both of them have with Ben, and she sees that they're both very sweet, calming girls.
Yeah.
They're not the type that are aggressive like Olivia might be, or I don't know how Jubilee sees herself, honestly.
Jubilee
at this
also
point.
uses the phrase just gets me. I think she said it like 3 or 4 times. Like she needs to find somebody that just gets her, or she hopes that Ben just gets her. And so I think part of that as well could be an assumption that she's making to say, Ben may not give me the opportunity for me to really get there, because she said, do you notice sometimes when I get nervous, I have a hard time speaking? So I think she is feeling like every encounter that we've had so far, I've really dropped the ball, and I may not have very many more, because there's going to be a rose ceremony.
That's exactly how Lace
tonight.
felt.
Yeah.
Because she's dropped the ball on all these. But I thought it was really interesting that Jubilee is saying that. It was almost like, and the producers can't plan this, obviously, can they? That like she's feeling that and saying that, and then she gets the next date card.
I think they might have played it up as, them asking. They knew that she was going to get the date card, and they can still ask her questions like, well, Becca's a front runner.
Yeah.
And who was the other one that hadn't gotten one yet?
JoJo.
JoJo, they'll be like, Becca's a front runner, JoJo's a front runner, so like it seems like one of them is definitely a shoe-in to get the one-on-one. Like,
I would
how
go
does that
mentally
make you feel?
crazy.
Like, obviously you won't know for a while. Like, hopefully you'll have enough time at the rose ceremony to like get to know him, but like that really sucks for you. And so she's like, oh well, a producer's telling me that I'm not getting the one-on-one. I'm for sure not getting it.
Man, that's So, okay, anything, by the way, before we move on from the game, anything else? Oh, there was a line that I wrote down. I think it was Lauren H. She goes, balls flying, she's the kindergarten teacher, balls flying in your face is never fun, but I had to do something about it. Is that a producer line?
I think so. I think that one was. But the other one where was it Emily that goes, God, I'm just not really good at handling balls. God, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
Was that her that said that?
They all
I might
caught
have flip-flopped
themselves.
them. I might have flip-flopped them.
But we're noticing the same. It's the same question, right? Something about balls. They're looking for that funny comment.
Yeah. Before we move on to their conversations after the game, Fantasy Sports Guru has a suggestion. He said the hashtag for your shirt should be riding the pine sports reference.
Okay. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so we go to
sitting the bench.
So we go to the cocktail part of the date, where half of them get to go and half of them don't. What are you laughing at? Olivia interrupts right away, steals him. Okay, so here's my thing with this.
The worst.
I'm 100% okay with taking initiative.
Yeah.
But there's the right way to do it, and I feel like Olivia's only done it the wrong way. And why is that?
Well, and it also goes to like have a little bit of social awareness. If you've done that before, and you can kind of feel like, when I come back from that, the girls kind of like give me the cold shoulder.
Like if somebody asked me right now who's Olivia on the show, I'd be like, she's the girl that always interrupts. That's the first thing I'd say to describe her right now.
It's, what is it, negative reinforcement? Like, he's still, like, he's making her feel okay for stealing him, because every time she does take some time away, he's still kissing her. He's still giving her, like, making her feel like he really wants her there. And maybe he does, but, like, she sees this as, oh, well, I'm stealing his time. I'm definitely getting time, and he's reassuring me that I'm supposed to be here, so I'm going to keep on doing it. Well, if he had said one time out of one of those times that she stole him away, like, hey, like, this is really, not that I don't want you here, but, like, it's really upsetting the other girls, and that's upsetting me, she wouldn't do it anymore.
Well, and I'm also going to say, too, like, it's unfortunate because for Olivia, there might be a lot of other good things about Olivia that we're not seeing, but I feel like her edit is definitely steering her in the way of the villain, so that's all we're seeing as well. You know?
She's reading way too much into body language and touches and things like that, and I don't know if those are things that she's actually seeing and they aren't happening with other girls, or she's just making them up in her own mind where, you know, he's grabbing her leg to get up, or, you know, he's trying to push her off the couch to get up and he accidentally touches her leg while doing it, and she takes that as a sign he's, you know, he wants me to be his wife because he touched my leg.
I mean, let's talk about this, because this is kind of, she says straight up, she goes, I know he couldn't have given it to me again, and that he was using my leg to give me that sign that everything's okay. That to me that's way out there. Like, that's a red flag.
And how many audio, like, little clips did we see of her? How confident she was. So yeah, I think we're all on the same page.
I would agree with that, though. Confident. No. I would agree with, say he gives her the last rose and that's a producer's pick and she knows that, or she has a suspicion about that.
Sure.
And he goes up, or she goes up to accept the rose, and he can't say right there, hey, that was a producer's pick, but he can do like a little like grab.
Sure. Well, and I would say even as a viewer, as a fan at home watching, I wouldn't think that she would be the last rose. I know, like, I would know based on what I've seen of them, and we've only seen, you know, what, 5% of maybe what their interactions are up to this point.
Top 5.
She seems top 5 for sure. So to be the last rose, I'm like, oh, okay, that's just a producer creating drama thing. I would know that. So I gotta imagine she feels that too. I just think maybe she's really blowing out of proportion. She even said, when he hugs me, he grabs the small of my lower back or my hips in a way that is reassuring to me.
And maybe he is doing those things with her because he feels that connection, but I don't think that he's not doing them with other girls. Like, I just way too many negatives. I think that he is doing those same things with other girls to reassure them. Yeah. Subtly, maybe it's subconsciously, or maybe it is consciously. I don't know.
Are we surprised that Amber got the group date rose?
I don't think that he was going to give it to Olivia again.
I don't think so either, but who else would have gotten it? Maybe Emily? He didn't have a great conversation with anybody else.
Yeah.
Or at least that we saw. At least they showed. He did say about Amber, he goes, this rose goes, before he gave it to her, he goes, this rose goes to someone who I opened up to me, or I opened up to and allowed themselves to open back up to me. Or something along those lines.
This was another situation of a girl kissing him first.
It's true. Her demeanor changed after that too. She kissed him and then she went like snuggled, like head in his neck. It was a big deal.
Yeah. That to me though, it kind of felt like she did that, and she said, she's like, a kiss can change everything. But her going in, instead of like looking him in the eyes, like it felt like she was almost asking for his protection because she didn't trust like being there.
Wow.
That's just the body language I got off of it.
Wow,
there's kind of that whole vibe through the whole episode tonight, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of trust between the girls right now.
And she like went into a fetal position almost, like when she went into his arms, not like like I'm gonna embrace you too.
Amber's not getting a lot of great feedback right now. A lot of people are saying,
and then they're bringing the chat roll's talking about the possibility of having Jubilee as the next Bachelorette, and not having, I think it was Neha had said, no more mean girls.
Mean girls.
And she said Amber, and then threw JoJo in there, and that's also a topic to bring up. It's the first time we've seen any audio or anything of the negative for JoJo.
For JoJo, yeah.
And she had 2 of them. It was like, one, she's like, yeah, go interrupt her. When Jubilee was giving the massage, she's like, yeah, I'll go interrupt her. I want to watch.
Can we get into that right now? Because there's so much to talk about with Jubilee first, and then
let's do Jubilee's date and then get into the whole Mean Girl thing. So
I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
Rachel, when she got injured, could have easily faked an injury to get more time with Ben, and she didn't. And I think that speaks so much to her character, even though we didn't get to see a lot of it.
That's true. She stretched out and went back in the game, and then they showed negative on Olivia again. Olivia was like, I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah, which can't be edited.
Yeah. People are loving that you're getting deep in the emotions here. Fantasy Stats Guru is all over that. All right, so next date card, love is in the air, and it's Jubilee. She goes berserk. That was awesome. I actually kind of liked that reaction. And then she apologized, and they were like, no, you're good.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
When she...
Date card comes for Jubilee and says love in the air. Jubilee, and she was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!"
In that
And
moment,
then she was
And
super quiet.
She goes, "I'm sorry," and they were like, "It's okay, be excited."
none of the girls seemed like she was flaunting it that she got a date card at first. Like,
Right.
They were, you know, like, no, you deserve this.
Right. And then when I think they realized how much of a connection her and Ben have afterwards, then they were all threatened.
I don't think that was the case.
What do you think it is?
I think that was like they're all being a product of the producers at that point, right? Because if you have any storyline, right, you have to have these negative events and these positive events happening.
Yeah.
So for her, in order for us to feel real drama, we have to see the positive and the negative with her, right? So we've seen such positive things with Jubilee. So they know that if the date went well, they're like, when we get home, our point is we have, and they set that up. They set the massage table up for him.
Sure,
It's not like she went out and set that up, right? So they set it up, and then the producers were like, hey, girls, go see what Jubilee's doing. And what do you think their reaction's going to be, producers? It's like, what are they going to say? Well, yeah, I love that. Like, they're going to say something negative. They have to.
Right.
Well, backtracking a little bit, I think that the girls, even though they were mean girls tonight, like they did say, some of the girls said a lot of mean things about Olivia, which I don't think was warranted. If you're there for Ben, you shouldn't care about the other girls. You should be focused on your relationship with him. I get that it's hard because you're secluded in a house with these other women, but it's not a place for you to just harp on someone else's insecurities.
Yeah.
And then with Jubilee as well, I get the... Honestly, if I was in that situation, I didn't know anything about her family. She probably hasn't told any of the other girls. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had that reaction. They just think, okay, this is a girl who secluded herself from us. She's not trying to be friends with us. And she doesn't seem like she really cares about going on the date, because when she did leave with Ben, she said, hey, does any other girl want this date? And her sarcasm may not have translated to the other girls. It did with Ben, which is a good sign that they have a connection, but it might not have with the other girls. So in their minds, they don't know anything about her backstory. They don't know anything about their connection. They just see this girl going on a date who doesn't seem like she wants to be there, when all you want is like 5 minutes of his time.
Yep.
Well, and that goes back to what I'm saying as well, because it's not that those girls are necessarily being mean on purpose. It's like the producers set that up for them, and that's their reaction, because that's what they are going to feel. They're like, yeah, I don't like seeing this. And then when we see that, we go, damn, these girls are being so mean.
The producers can also say, with the massage table that was set up, they can say, we actually don't want to, we're not able to do a massage table tonight, but if you do want to take some time with him, you can go find him for 5 minutes.
Totally.
Yeah, and I thought this is... Go ahead.
One more little thing, though, because if it was somebody else, if it were, if the juxtaposition of what she had said on her date and what happened with Jubilee wasn't there, we wouldn't feel so badly. Like if it were Olivia that had done that and the girls were like, yeah, go break that up, I want to see it. If JoJo said that same thing about Olivia, we would all feel that was vindicated and like, yes, JoJo, and we'd cheer her on. But because of the sentiments expressed and how that was framed, we're like, nope, JoJo, Amber, you're out. And I'm not sticking up for either of their comments. I'm just saying it's interesting how we have those perceptions and how we get played emotionally.
Megs, you brought up a really good point. They said they don't take into account that she works with a lot of men in the military and is used to dry humor. So like maybe, because people are saying,
good point.
Niha also says the girl needs a class in humor and sarcasm, but maybe that's what she's come from.
Yeah.
So it's just translated wrong. I think that's a fantastic... I didn't think about that. It's a fantastic point.
I really do appreciate, even though we didn't see a lot of the girls getting time with Ben in the rose ceremony, I really did appreciate that Jubilee did something for him, because she took something away from their date. He really likes massages, and she wanted to do something for him.
So thoughtful.
Which he did for several of the girls last week, and we only saw from her and... who's the mother? Amanda. We only saw both of them taken... Ben, like, in consideration of Ben's feelings in this situation, as opposed to caring about themselves, like, oh my gosh, I need time. It's, oh no, Ben's going through something really painful in his life. I want to be there for him.
Well, and he brought that up prior. He said something about his parents and how his father had was it a heart attack or something?
Yeah, he said that in Lauren B's date.
Right, and he talked about that and said, like, I understand that, like, there's a love that needs to be at a certain level in order to be there for somebody, when things like that happen. And it's interesting that then Jubilee brought up her family issues, and then he had someone, close to him pass away while he was there. I'm like, this is, all of those things are connected all in one episode.
Yeah.
Contrasting
it's pretty heavy.
Lauren B and Jubilee, it's so crazy to see, because I don't have the confidence that Lauren B has. And like, that's, I think, where every girl needs to be at, is like she was saying, she's like, you know, I really want a guy who's as great as my dad. I've been picky because I don't want to settle for someone that's not going to be a great father to my children. Whereas Jubilee, Lauren definitely, like, she should be that confident, but Jubilee too should have that same confidence. And even though she is guarded, and I understand why, like, she has so much to offer. And Ben even said, he's like, you are a very strong woman. There are so many things that you've accomplished in your life that most people can never say that they accomplished in an entire lifetime. And just telling her story seems so genuine and like sincere, that, and even unforced too. Like, maybe the producers told her to say it, or like at some point, but it didn't seem unnatural.
Well, and I'm going to say something for Ben as well. Up to this point, in all honesty, I've been kind of bored with Ben. I was like, the first 2 episodes, I was like, okay, like he doesn't really say a lot.
The front door.
That's what I was feeling. It wasn't that I felt that he was boring. I just hadn't seen anything yet. It wasn't until tonight's episode that I was like, all right, Ben, like, stepped up to the plate multiple times.
Shoulder pops.
I was like,
I got some sweat.
I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
You're into it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Well, let's talk about him and Jubilee's date here, because the helicopter to a health spa, the caviar thing was really funny. They had a lot of just like cool moments. I loved the dinner conversation because it didn't feel like it was unveiled because you want to stay around. It was unveiled because they were both intentional about getting to know each other. And I love that. I love the way Ben. I almost love that he didn't even respond right away when she started telling the story. He didn't be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. He let her have the moment, and then when she started crying, he said, it's okay, take your time. But he was quiet. He was sovereign in a way, and let her absorb kind of what was happening. I loved the way he handled that.
Because I think that he, just as the viewers, like, didn't really understand where Jubilee was coming from prior to this.
Sure.
She seemed very guarded, and she's very like standoffish, and then once she explained her past, I understood her completely.
All of our mouths dropped and we rewound. Just so you guys know, when we were screening, we all went, whoa, what?
Yeah.
And rewound it to make sure we caught the entire weight of what she was saying. Yeah, it made a lot more sense.
I understand, like, when she was saying prior to the date why she's been hesitant. And like Brooks was saying, she mentioned several times she just wants someone to get her.
Yeah.
Like, there aren't a lot of people, you know, someone might say that they can get that and accept that, but they might not be there for you at the end of the day.
I mean, my goodness, the line she said, I'm the only surviving person that I know of with my bloodline.
She feels guilty about it
God,
too.
like feeling guilt, like that is so
well. And she also said something
much
I feel like
weight
resonates with Ben. She said, you know, that fear of being rejected or not being loved. I feel like that goes along with the lines of her saying, like, I just want somebody to get me, because you are in a vulnerable space, especially if you know, you're Jubilee in this situation where a lot of the other girls aren't talking to you. I don't know what scene that was when they were in the kitchen. She was like, hi guys, and they just were like, I'm gonna go get some lip gloss, or I'm gonna go do something with my I feel like that's not a singular event. Like, she's probably had multiple of those. So to feel uncomfortable in the house and not feel like you've done a great job with Ben so far, man, I would be uncomfortable. And
then later in the night, in the rose ceremony, when she's sitting by herself and Amber literally just confronts her.
It was almost a little bit, I'm just going to say it, that was almost a little bit of bullying.
Oh, that was bullying, completely.
I mean,
I don't
stop crying just for a second.
And doing this in her face. I'm sorry, Amber,
later
but that was like
Ben,
a little.
Yeah, but when she was going in there, if she had a problem and other girls had a problem, you didn't need to bring Jubilee into a situation where she feels attacked, no matter what the situation is, even if it's with Olivia. You don't need to go up to her and say, hey, 7 of the other girls really want to talk to you about something. It's you go over there and you say, hey, you know, something that's personally been upsetting me, and I just wanted to clear it up because maybe, you know, you have your side of the story.
Yeah, it's perfect countenance to do it. Yeah.
And so it's just one-on-one, where it's not that much pressure in the situation.
Well, and Ben's response to that as well was like, just continue to be you, unapologetically you, and if people don't like that, then
I mean, even like
that's their fault.
In that moment, another thing for Amber, like she figuratively and literally positioned herself. She tried to wedge between Jubilee and Ben in that moment, and it just
I didn't even notice that.
And honest to God, I want to ask you guys this: if Amber didn't already have a rose, I think that solidified that she wouldn't have got one tonight. For me, if she didn't have one already.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that was for Ben. Like, if you were the Bachelor, would you not be like, oh, whoa, I'm getting a lot of information right now that I didn't see before?
Yeah.
Of the dynamics between
oh my
people
gosh,
here in
yeah.
the house, right?
Even his body language, when he started to console Jubilee, Amber's right here to his left, and he turns and even look at her, and he just starts talking only to Jubilee, like this. I mean, it was just, and there was another moment I wanted to mention too.
He's protective of her.
He is.
Yeah,
and,
he is.
Well, of course, because back to dinner, they're at the table, when he gives her the rose, the coolest thing, and I don't think I've ever seen somebody do this, he grabs her hand and kisses her hand.
To assure her before he did the...
Come on, that was amazing.
Usually, I don't know if this is a producer thing, I think it is, but like usually they make you hang on the rose of like, you know, I had a really great time, but...
He kissed her hand, that was so cool.
I do want to give you this rose. Or, you know, something where it makes it sound like up until they actually hand you the rose that you're not going to get it.
One more thing, I'm going to gush. So then he does that, she comes over, sits on his lap, big hug, he kisses the side of her face. Like, these are all beyond just like, I'm affectionate to you. Because his tell, I tweeted this to somebody earlier, his tell is his body language. Right? His tell is his body language. He was doing it with Lauren, the way that he sits and positions his shoulders, half hugs versus full hugs, and he kissed her on the face, kissed her hand, like everything was there. I didn't see it going, like I saw it going well. I didn't see this. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it was surprising to me, but now seeing their interactions together towards the end of the date, like they have chemistry. Like there is something there. In his
ITM, his interview afterwards, Ben goes, I love her layers. 4 loves. I love. And then he says, and I know, Kathy, you don't put as much weight with this, but he says, I could definitely see myself falling in love with Jubilee.
Until someone says, I am falling in love with this person.
Could mean anything.
Could is anything, and I think The Bachelor, like the producers asked them to say that about every single girl so they can insert it in like specific situations.
Yeah. Couple things. So we got to get to the rose ceremony and the cocktails here in just a second, but there was the moment when Olivia and Jamie talk about her toes. Was this weird? That Jamie came and was like basically telling on the other girls, is that okay? Or was she, do you think that's like bold of her and nice and kind of her to be like, hey, just so you know this happened?
Didn't Jamie get up and walk away when they were having the conversation?
She did, and she went and pulled Olivia aside. So is this more of like a, hey, kudos to you, Jamie, or more of like a, these mean girls back in the house?
The girls shouldn't have been talking about her like that. That was an Amber situation of Amber just starts talking about, oh, well, yeah, like Olivia brought Ben upstairs, and Amber just goes, well, yeah, like he likes her, but she has fat toes. And then the girls are like, what did you just say? And she's like, I'm not going to say it again, but she has FT.
FT.
She has FT. Like that's a mean girl thing.
Yeah, that's not okay. I'd be honest, I'd be shocked if Amber gets a rose next week.
Yeah, I don't.
This is the kind of stuff that carried.
Cheryl seems to agree. Like,
I would say
she's gone.
After the being a little bit dismissed by Ben in the situation upstairs with Jubilee, I think she might realize that she was in the wrong, and hopefully like she'll see that and she'll change her ways and like apologize for it, not just to Ben but to Jubilee as well.
Well, and from what I know of Amber, I've met her a couple times. She's a very good person. This surprised me a little bit. This is not what I know, and I know a little bit, but this is not what I know of her.
And Ben might give her that extra time too and see that. Like,
I hope
everyone
so.
makes mistakes.
I mean, everybody does. And I've put my foot in my mouth I've done it on the show, but like, why are you laughing? But I would hope that, because I did have a real connection, that there's a moment and she could take a step back and then move forward. Kind of like Lace tonight. Let's talk about this. Lace removes herself. You know,
I was hoping she would stay around because it felt like she was starting to be a little bit more comfortable, in my opinion. Tonight on the episode, I was like, I'm starting to like Lace.
Do you think,
and then she went home.
Do you think when she pulls Ben aside at the cocktail party, do you think her intention was to say this and hope Ben would rescue her? Do you think that's what she was hoping for?
I don't think so, because of the way that she went out at the very end.
You think she was leaving before she knew it?
Yeah, I do genuinely believe that. I think at the very beginning of the cocktail party, she did have hope that there would be something there with Ben, because she said multiple times, you know, it's not fair, I didn't get time with him, I really need time with him. If I don't get time with him, I'm not gonna be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that when she did finally pull Ben aside, because that moment when she's like, he thinks the cocktail party's over, he's sitting on the couch with all the girls, and Lace just walks in and she's like, Ben, I need time with you. He goes, what?
Yeah, they had played his
jolted up. He's so tired.
6 times in a row.
It's got to be like 6 a.m. at that point.
Dear God.
And I genuinely think in that moment she knew she was going home and she just wanted to bow out gracefully before.
And she did it very
ceremony.
gracefully, by the way, as well. I loved how she said,
I need to work on myself.
Something more than that. She said, I apologize for the way that I've acted. And like, it's not something.
She's owning her actions. Yeah.
She's like, that happened. It wasn't, I'm not proud of it. And I need to work on me. So this is like going to waste your time. I'm out.
And it was all good. And then like her tattoo says, you can't really love someone until you love yourself. I saw that sentence that, like my tattoo says, was all ablaze over Twitter. But I do think that she had a very good self-realization moment. And I think it will help her in future relationships.
I would say Lace is ratings gold for The Bachelor. Like, as far as
she was
the
on the
first
after
2
show
episodes,
apparently, and she did great.
The fact that she's going to be on Bachelor in Paradise, and the best thing that Ashley S did from Chris's season and on Bachelor in Paradise is she made fun of herself, and I totally see, like, Lace gets it. So like,
even after the final rose, she did.
You were like a Bachelor historian.
And she's fantastic.
Like, how do you know all of this stuff?
Because I'm a girl and I'm obsessed with it.
That's what I do. Okay, so there's some other. Is there anything else from the cocktail party that you want to talk about? Oh, I thought it was interesting, by the way. Little things like he put his jacket on Amanda when they talked. These are little things that I think bode well.
I really like Amanda.
Okay, so we good before we get to the rose ceremony?
I think so.
Anything else? Any other thoughts? Chat roll is blown up.
Do it.
We love you guys for all these comments. They were worried
Thanks
that we
for
weren't
staying up so late with us too.
People in chat roll were worried we weren't going to talk about Ben and Jubilee. There's just a lot to get through, guys, but we got there. If you have any other questions, again, we'll try to cover anything we missed next week. So please, you can tweet them to us, write them to us, comment on YouTube, whatever. Okay, rose ceremony. First up, Lauren H, Amanda, Becca. We didn't see a lot of Becca tonight, or Amanda,
or Leah.
There was a girl that we didn't mention.
Leah Block.
Leah, thank you.
Was it Lauren H who was very mean towards Jubilee in the ITMs,
Lauren
but
H was
never
a mean
really
girl.
Confronted her?
Yeah, she was a mean girl.
And I don't know if those were things that she just didn't know the situation and she was saying them, because I can't remember the exact quotes that she said, but a couple of them really bothered me.
Some people in the chat roll said some aggressive things about it. I don't want to repeat them because I don't know what she said.
Yeah.
But they agree. That Lauren H was being a mean girl.
Yeah. Okay. And we didn't see a lot. I thought it was weird. Becca, I mean, she got one, she's third rows. We just didn't see much about her. I thought that was interesting. Haley and Emily, twins. We saw a lot of Emily. Twins! We didn't see much of Haley, though. We saw a lot of Emily in the soccer game. She got some highlight moments. Didn't see much Emily. The twins seem like they're holding on strong, though.
Can you really tell if the title of their name wasn't
absolutely not?
No? Okay.
Nope, not yet, because we haven't got a date or anything like that yet.
I would say Haley is the front runner out of the twins right now.
Why?
I don't see them both lasting. Okay, so in the previews for next week, we saw one of them crying and saying it was too soon. I didn't think that would happen so soon.
I think that was Emily.
I think one of the girls goes home.
Oh,
one of the twins goes home.
Prediction from Cathy Kelley.
Which one of the two twins, by the way? There was a little sound or a little clip on Twitter I saw maybe 2 days ago, and it was her talking to Ben about what she eats. Did you guys see this?
Oh yeah.
She's like, I just as a kid, I would my parents didn't make me eat vegetables. She's like, broccoli, ew. Like the way it looks, she doesn't eat vegetables.
She's like chicken nuggets and blah blah blah.
Like, what do you eat? And she's like, there's goldfish. There's
amazing. Next up we got Rachel, Kayla, JoJo. Again, JoJo was kind of on the fence tonight. We'll see how that responds next week.
I love JoJo. I really hope that those were taken out of context.
Jennifer, Leah, and then Olivia going home tonight. Shoshana, and
the
Jamie.
Russian.
Yeah, the Russian and Jamie. I really like Jamie.
I like Jamie too. I don't think she was another girl that I don't think was very confident in herself. She had a very weird goodbye too.
Yeah, it was just a hug and she was gone like that.
No, not the hug. It was her exit video when she's I don't trust any humans. I'm gonna get some cats.
That was her. Here's what I saw that as. This is what I saw that as. I think she's funnier than we saw, and I think that's her covering up her insecurities and hurt with some humor. I really hope we see her on Paradise. I really like Jamie. There's something about her that I liked from the beginning. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, I want to ask you guys this: after tonight's episode, has your top 4 changed? Is Jubilee now in your top 4? Before we wrap up, Brooks, you're on the hot seat. Mr. Salt and Pine.
Just from what everybody is saying, I feel like they're framing this up where Jubilee might actually be. I don't think that she's gonna last and be the top 3, but she might be a possible next Bachelorette. And so I'm like, she could move into top 4. I think I had Becca there in top 4. But I'm going to keep JoJo at the top because they might have given JoJo a little bit of negative. Yeah. Just so that we're not so easily like, oh, it's JoJo.
I wish I could scroll up and see. Somebody mentioned in the chat roll that they're already pushing. Christy Givens is already pushing for Jubilee to be the next Bachelorette if she doesn't win. Like, they're already putting that out there. So I could see that catching fire. Kathy, is your top 4 change now?
I'm going to stick with it because that was my week 1.
Yeah.
Even though I really... God, that's so hard. Can my top 4 be a top 5?
Sure. So she's tied. Yeah. She slid into at least a tie in your top 4.
Yeah, she's tied with Becca right now.
Was she even in top like 7 on your radar prior to
I don't think she was in mine.
I think she was top 7, top 8. I hadn't really decided on that much, but because we saw all the promos of her kissing Ben, I was like, there's definitely something
going on there.
Yeah,
we will see. Yeah, she's definitely slid into my top 5. I think she's 5th right now for me, so we will see. But
I could totally see her packages of like the same way Andy Dorfman had the, hey, I'm a district attorney in court and I just need to find my man, and like Jubilee's like, I've killed people. I don't know.
I was like, where is she gonna go with this?
I don't know where I'm going with that. But like, she's a strong woman, and like, I could totally see,
she could be like, I lived with 200 men last year, but now I'm looking for one to live with for the rest of my life.
Now I only have 30. What, Bachelor?
What?
How old is Jubilee, by the way?
I think she's 26 or 27. I can't remember.
Yeah, I would also set her up for that too, because the majority of the girls are just they're a lot younger.
They're young. A lot of young girls.
Then you're gonna look for a bunch of young guys, and then like that makes it even more challenging.
Yeah.
All right. Next week we go to Las Vegas. We see Becca kiss him. We see a ton of drama with Olivia. My God.
Wait. You didn't give us yours.
No, mine stayed the same. I said Jubilee slid to my 5th. She's my 5th.
Oh,
right
in
now.
5th. Sorry,
my
I
top
missed
4
that.
stayed the same. Yeah. Okay. In the meantime, Brooks Forester on Snapchat. Brooks, where can people find you and your T-shirts and your whole life?
You can find me at Brooks Forester on Twitter.
Are you going to run out of T-shirts? Can people go
No,
order?
By the way, Salt and Pine update. Second sale came in today.
Who was it?
This time by a guy named Paul Vidmar.
Thanks, Paul.
Woo!
Kathy, where can people find you? And do you have T-shirts for sale?
I do actually. Yeah, I do.
Wait, you have
I'm a Kathy Kelley guy shirts, and I'm a Kathy Kelley girl.
You
and
have
then there's
these?
I Cupcake CK. Yeah, they're on nxteam.spreadshirt.com.
I want
the
Cupcake
NXT
CK.
After Show actually set them up, but you can find them online. You can also follow me on Twitter at Catherine Kelley and on Instagram at Kathy Kelley. Follow. I do the Raw After Show and the NXT After Show. If you guys like wrestling, there's drama.
What's your favorite wrestling move?
I don't know.
DDT off a diving board in a pool?
Diamond Dallas Page!
I showed you the red arrow the other week. Remember when Nick was here? He's like, what's a good wrestling move? Why do you like wrestling moves? And I was like, I showed a slow-mo of the red arrow, which is just an incredible move.
Guys, you can follow me on everything at Danny Hoyt. Snapchat, though, is at Danny Hoyt 47. Thank you guys for joining us. This was your Bachelor After Show. We'll be back next week with a guest or 3.
Awesome. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Will you accept my rose?
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.